and welcome back to the Rising Tide podcast after our 2 week break from the NWSL. Sorry for the late upload. I started a new job, and Bryce is out of town for a month in Minnesota doing a training for work as well. So, been a bit busy. We weren't able to do the, promised episodes during the break, but I did miss both of um, the games. I was working overtime on Saturday, so I did miss the first game, and I missed the second game. That was during the week, wasn't it?
The second game, yeah, was on Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah, I missed both, so he'll be able to talk about that. We'll go on about that, but we will start with Kansas City beating San Diego 2-0. We'll start with how about you give us overall thoughts on the game?
Well, let's see. I think they played pretty good. I think of the first half. I think that we started out real strong. Let's break this down a little bit. So we did have some changes in the lineup. So just starting from the beginning, I think DiBernardo was out due to, or not 100% fit, not 100% healthy due
Mm,
to, I think something in the hamstring or something to do with the leg. So they put Dabinia center mid and started Prince this game. Um, and from the last episode that we recorded, that is kind of where I wanted Dabinia to be, just like to see her in the center mid. And I think she played really well in that center mid position, just creating a lot more chances with her through the center mid and being able to have Prince up top with her speed and her skill. I think it really benefited them this match.
No, that was I think Prince played pretty well. Cooper started off pretty hot as well. We did see her go out. I guess we will touch on that, but we'll start with. I mean, I guess we don't really need to go over San Diego's roster because personally I don't know them, but we'll start with Kansas City's starting lineup. So let me bring it up here. Sorry. So we obviously have Prince. Hang on. Okay, this is off. This is off. Okay,
I
sorry.
think the only thing they changed was um, yeah, DiBernardo out, Dabinia back in the center mid, and
Mm-hmm.
then that opens up a spot up top for Prince to
Prince. Yep.
start.
Yeah, it looks like Prince, Chewinga, Dabinia, Labonta, Hutton, Cooper, Rodriguez, Sharples, Cook, and Wheeler, and then Lorena and net. So, yeah, that was the. So this would have been the. This is the one they would have used against Portland, I believe. This is the same one, same starting. I know you didn't get to watch the first game, but
No, yeah, I missed the first game.
pretty
Yeah,
sure this is the same one.
did
So
Prince start that game?
yeah,
She started.
I'm almost sure.
Oh, okay, okay.
Let me verify though real quick. I don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
missed that
be
first one.
not a real fan. Let's
I
see.
guess so. Busy
So
with work.
yeah, it was Dabinia. No, actually, DiBernardo was in. I thought
Yeah,
Prince started. I guess not. Anyways, okay. So let me go back to it. Casey beats. What did they call it? The match of the water, game of the water, battle of the water.
something like that.
um. So we'll start with. I mean, there wasn't much in the second to me. It was really pretty slow second half, but um, felt like we were pretty hot in the first.
Yeah, the first
Um,
half I thought was really good. Like I said, with Dabinia in the center mid, she's having a since I started watching Kansas City back in what 2023, a few seasons ago. I think this is probably her best season so far. I think she always does well in like the tournament type style play, like the Challenge Cup and stuff like that.
mm,
But she's really starting to perform like throughout the season, and I like to see that because, of course, we all like to see Chewinga score a bunch of goals, just rack up her goals on the tally sheet. But it's also really good to see, other players stepping up, being able to score and put them away when we need to.
yeah, I think Dabinia and Cooper as well. They both stepped up massively. A lot of chances in these not so. I mean, I wouldn't call them not so key players last year, but these players that started out slow last year creating a lot of opportunities for our playmakers, and even just creating plays of their own.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, first half. Sorry, let me go back to the key moments. I have a goldfish memory, so bear with
Well,
me.
I know that the first goal um, from a cross from Izzy Rodriguez on that left hand side,
Mhm.
and Dabinia doesn't make the best of touches that we've seen her make. She could stop a ball on a dime. Doesn't have the best first touch. Bounces up probably about hip level. She just side volleys it into the left side netting, puts it away, and then that was a good finish. And then Michelle Cooper had a couple chances. Unfortunately, couldn't put any away. I know Chewinga had a breakaway from a really good pass. I want to say
Good
from
save.
Cooper,
Yep,
and
I'm pretty
she
sure.
couldn't put it away either. That was a really good save. She couldn't get on the score sheet to break her own record that she set last year. But yeah, that first goal
So
from
close.
Dabinia, and then the second one coming from a shot that Claire Hutton took that hit off the hand of a defender, went to VAR, checked it, and it was a clear handball. Kind of hard to see, but you could see how the ball hits her hand, and it just flies backwards.
Yeah.
So, yep, Labonta obviously stepping up to the spot, puts it away like always. So,
To be, that I felt personally, I felt like that took way too long to go to a VAR decision. It's kind of
yeah, and
just sitting there. I know he has to wait,
even
but good.
even the commentators were kind of frustrated with it, which I kind of agree with. If it's like obviously the ref doesn't see it initially, and if you're taking that long to look at the screen or just to replay it, just have the ref go over there and look. He's
Yeah,
going to have the final say anyways. Just have him go over there and look and talk it out together, speed up the process because there's already a bunch of extra time added in these NWSL matches for some reason. There always just seems to be 5+ extra minutes each half. So just speed up the process a little bit. I mean, it looked when you had a good angle, it looked clear as day a handball. Just send him over to VAR.
yeah.
And
That
once he got there, it didn't take him long to, make the decision. So get him over there.
that front angle, it seemed pretty obvious. Obvious when they showed it from behind the net. It didn't look so obvious. It did look like it hit off her knee or thigh. But from that front angle, you can watch her hand shoot back. It wasn't in a natural
Mhm.
position. That was a pretty clear handball from the front. But yeah, taking way too long. There was I want to say there's not really injuries. There was a lot of pause time, I guess you could call it. In the first half, a ton on both sides. It felt like uh, you could hear the crowd booing. They didn't seem to really like it, but
Yeah,
I
San Diego
honestly,
wasn't liking that.
they gave what 6 minutes of extra time in the first? No, nine.
I was it
Looks
was
like
it
they
9?
played. Yeah, they played until 45 plus 9. So
Oh wow.
that felt right. I thought he called for 5 though. Hmm.
I
Anyways,
can't remember
I
exactly.
feel yeah, I felt like 5 was a little low for how much time was pause time we had. So I guess they did play until 9. If they did, then I guess that's pretty fair. But
Hmm.
overall, Kansas City Currents defense, we played really well. We didn't give many opportunities. It seemed like in the first half.
Yeah,
Um,
Lorena didn't have too much action going on back there throughout the whole game. Really, she wasn't challenged all that much. Um, uh, yeah, the first half can't really think of anything too crazy.
and even our corners, San Diego had 6 corner kicks to our 1. And I can't really remember any really big opportunities that came from it. I know they did have a pretty good chance on the left side in the first half um, that was cleared. But besides that, I mean, and again, Kansas City possession, we had 37% to their 63. So on the second straight game that we've had less possession, but equal shots on net, and coming out with the win.
Yeah, and that just kind of goes to show where we're one of those teams where we don't have to have we don't have to outpass them. We don't have to outpossess our opponents. We just know how to finish and put them away when they need to. They don't waste many opportunities, so that's really good.
Yeah,
Because you can't really be giving up a bunch of possession and less passes and not score. So really good that they're being able to put them away.
Mhm.
having other players step up and score.
Yeah, so Dabinia scoring makes it three goals, 1 assist, out of 10 shots for her. Like you said, she's been pretty hot, playing pretty good. Um,
Hmm.
Kansas City though starting last year, our first four, we had 10 goals and 8 conceded. This year, our first 4 games, 10-1. So huge increase.
That's yeah, that's really good.
And I want to give a little bit of that credit to Lorena. She's been playing extremely well. I know I talked to you before we started. I said I got to see the highlights of the first Brazil game, and she played extremely well, even though they did end up losing. Just her performance was, to me, was outstanding.
Yeah, she's been, coming from Brazil playing in this league. I'm not sure where she played beforehand, probably a team in Brazil, but being able to come to this league with brand new teammates, new connections, and everything, new coach, everything, and being able to only concede one goal is really, yeah, really good.
Mm, yeah. So, um, that makes 3 straight shutouts for Kansas City. Getting a little hot, getting a little excited. I know I said last year that we had a championship incoming, but this year it really does feel, it really does feel like it. We were just short last year. Unfortunate. Um, Tough, really tough. But before we end, I mean, anything? I guess I shouldn't cut off. Anything on the second half you have? I know, like, it was pretty slow. Well, to me, it wasn't any chances that came
Yeah,
to mind.
it was pretty slow, but I will say that San Diego is, I think they had a little bit of a void to fill in the back line with Naomi Girma signing over to Chelsea. Um, and being able to fill that void only, they really shut down Chewinga this game.
Hmm.
Only, when you could cut her chances down in half, it's, going to work out for you. So they cut their chances down in half. Unfortunately, she couldn't score, but for San Diego, that's really good for them. Only, letting up two. Um, but they have a bunch of technical players on their team. They're really good and skillful on the ball. So that, I mean, also says a lot for Kansas City, where we could go, play these games away from home against a pretty good team and, come out with a shutout. I think it's really good.
Yeah,
I
they
also
played
like to add that
good.
since Michelle Cooper ended up coming out that first half, it looked like she kind of twisted her ankle a little bit. Not too sure. It looked like she walked off okay, and it looked like she was trying to wave off Ladko that she was fine, didn't need a sub, but Bia ended up coming in for her. So hopefully she can make it back next week against Houston.
Yeah, she was trying to say that she was fine, but anytime she put pressure on that foot, you could tell there's pain. I don't know. I was calling for a sub personally. I mean, we were up. I mean, we had most of the momentum, and
Yeah, and
I
with
mean,
they were playing good. You have a Bia coming in. She's more than capable of
filling
uh,
that spot.
taking care of, yeah, filling that spot, taking care of things. So it was good to see Bia get, a couple minutes in the first half and then 45 in the second. Just get her minutes, get her touches so she could get back in form.
Yeah, that's why I was calling for a sub mainly is because I know I mean our bench is pretty stacked, pretty full. So,
Yeah, they're
um,
deep. Yeah.
yeah, number of players that could have filled that spot, especially being up 2-0. Cooper is important, but we had the momentum. We're up 2-0. We're playing extremely hot. To me, there's no reason to risk anything else.
No, no.
Um,
I mean, and she just got off, the international break. 2 games. She played quite a bit, in those 2 games versus Brazil. So a little tired, a little fatigued probably, and don't really want to risk anything,
mhm.
with the ankle already being up 2-0. Yeah, don't really
Yeah,
want to risk it.
yeah. Yeah, I was calling for a sub, and I knew it would be Bia. I was calling for Bia. I was yelling Bia, but uh,
I think we all were.
yeah.
Just
So
want to get her on the score sheet.
yeah. So for I guess before it is April for the month of March, 5 Kansas City players made it to the best 11 of the NWSL. I can't speak. Chiwinga also was player of the month. So overall, our roster looks like I said, we're hot, and
Yeah, we're hot. We're scoring goals. We're not conceding goals. So I'd say we're doing really good. First, what, that was our fourth game, first 4 games.
yeah. Hmm. So it looks like we have next coming up Houston Dash. Um, yeah, we have a pretty good track record against the Dash, so it is in
At home.
CPKC. Yep.
Yep,
So should be what, Saturday, April 19th. That's Saturday, right?
I think so.
Should be Friday or Saturday. Anyways, at 6:30 p.m. and it will be on Ion, so I will be able to watch it for free, which is good. Most important part, if we want to continue to grow this sport, it needs to be freely accessible, in my opinion. Um, anyways, well, I mean that's pretty much it for the game. I think we covered mainly everything. I know that was quick. It was a quick first half, slow second half, so not much going on in the second. But overall, Kansas City played great. Our defense played great. Um, didn't give opportunities. I will give credit, like you said, to San Diego. They played the position very well against Chewinga. Didn't gave her that one chance in the first half, but after that, I can't think of much else she was able to get.
Yeah, there
And
wasn't much,
they
And
played.
they cut in half their Cooper's chances, Chewinga's chances. They did pretty good filling that void with Gurma gone now.
Yeah, and I think overall they played, like I said, Chewinga very well. She only was able to beat that defender once, and after that, nothing comes to mind. So I'll give them props for that. I guess now we can move on to the games against Brazil over the NWSL break. I was a little bummed to not see any Kansas City players start. I guess besides Lorena for Brazil in the first game. Like I said earlier, she played great. Um, I didn't. I mean, they did lose, but I think her performance was astonishing for the shots she was able to save overall. So
Yeah, both of the goalies. That first game, I know it was a week ago now, so my
yeah,
memory's
yeah,
not the greatest, but I do know both goalies made a lot of good saves. Um, the goalie from Manchester United got her first start last Saturday, and she looked really good. The commentators were saying that she could be the best goalie and the best female goalie in the world. And hearing that and not knowing much about her, I'm like, okay, well, let's give it a shot. And she definitely proved against a Brazil squad that's really good, really physical, and takes their chances. She really proved herself last Saturday. So that's really good news. Especially with World Cup coming up here in a couple of years. That'll fly by. That'll be here before we know it. So just being able to grow these players before then, yeah, it looks really good. She does.
yeah, and looks like I'm trying to get the summary here. Like I said, I wasn't able to watch it, but we can at least talk about it. A lot of action it looked like. So, U.S. did score in the first five. They scored early in both games, right? If I'm correct, didn't they
Yeah, they
score in the
did.
first 30 of the second game
The
as well?
sec, yeah, the first minute. Yep.
Yeah, Trinity Rodman scored the first goal for U.S. in the fifth minute.
From
Like I
assist
said,
from Alyssa Thompson.
yeah, we're trying to go back, almost a week, so be patient with us.
Going back a week, I know the first goal. Overall, both teams playing really physical. You know, going up against Brazil, it's always going to be a super physical game, and it showed both games super physical. They're not afraid to take any challenge, go 50-50 any ball. They'll run through somebody, and you could definitely see it. They want the ball, they want to win. But both teams playing really well, really crispy passes, good touches on the ball, working it through center mid, all that good stuff. And then, yeah, that the first goal for the first game, just a really good um, breakaway from, well, not really a breakaway. I can't remember who passes it to her, but Alyssa Thompson on that left side just has a bunch of speed. Completely smoked both of the right defender and the right forward or winger. Completely smoked both of them. Beautiful pass from a diagonal run from Trinity Rodman, and she just slots it right home. Actually, Brazil eventually ended up changing their whole right side just because of Alyssa Thompson. She was absolutely smoking them that game. She really since going to the World Cup a few years ago and not getting too much playing time, she's really taken that experience and her experience in the NWSL, mashed it all together, and she's become 10 times better of a player than she was just 2 years ago. It's insane.
Yeah, she's a great player, and looks like second goal for the U.S. came off a 66-minute penalty. Um, like I said, I don't know what the foul was.
It it seemed a little soft. Lily Johannes, the new or youngster from she plays in the Netherlands, plays for Ajax. Um, kind of a soft foul. It wasn't too much to it. I think she kind of received the ball and make a little cut, and the defender just caught her heel, tripped her up a little bit.
Hmm, playing the ball.
Wasn't anything crazy. I could see it going both ways, being called or not being called. But um, yeah. Anyways, just PK.
So
They're not
yeah,
going to
like we
miss from there.
said, for the second game, USA started off extremely quick. I think it was in the 30. I think it was 35, 35th second. Anyways,
Something like
half
that.
a minute, yeah, per se. They scored, and not much after that for the U.S. as far as I could tell. A lot of shot attempts though. Um, I mean, 18 attempts for U.S., 19 for Brazil. Only five shots on goal for U.S. and seven for Brazil, but that's way higher than a normal NWSL game. So we did
Yeah.
get to see um, Hutton started and Cooper started as well, right?
Yep.
So excited to see our girls starting. Excited for their future for on the women's team. Um,
Yeah, and they both played really well. They both got their chances on the ball. Really good passes, good defending. Um, I'm sure Emma Hayes is pretty impressed with their performance against a really good Brazilian team.
yeah, and it looks like Hayes said she wanted the inexperienced players to feel the heat against Brazil. Hopefully, in preparation for other scenarios they may be in.
Yeah, which is fair. You want to give them that experience, that
Mhm,
pressure,
mhm.
because come couple years it won't be just a friendly. It'll be the World Cup.
Yeah.
So got to have
Uh,
that experience, that pressure.
Now, do you think international experience is maybe a little bit of a, I don't know how to say this, better for a player coming back to the end of cell?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Oh yeah. If you just the difference between NWSL to international level, there's a pretty big gap. I would say even in the men's league,
Hmm.
you can clearly tell a big gap. Just the passing, the physicality, the speed, um, yeah, everything. So
Hmm.
yeah, getting that experience is really big for any player.
And now I'll ask you, out of all the Kansas City players, who do you think shining or outshining all the rest of the roster right now?
For Kansas City,
Yes, just Kansas City. Sorry, moving on for international.
well, I think the obvious answer is Michelle Cooper, but I'm also gonna say Dabinia. She's really shining this season. I think she has a lot more to offer throughout the rest of the season, so I'm excited to see what she can continue to do.
Yeah, excited. I'm
What about
excited
you?
for the. Well, we already talked about it. I guess that was kind of a question I've already asked. I think in the first episode, but I would say Cooper. She's been playing extremely well. Um, giving the chances when they need to be there. Not all of them have gone in, but beautiful touches, beautiful passes, beautiful crosses. Um, you know, it's a coach's dream
It
to get
it's
those.
just the whole. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
It's just the whole confidence level. Even when she was playing, getting subbed in against Brazil, or when she started, the whole her confidence of being able to receive the ball on the outside of the pitch and just take a defender head on almost every single time. You don't see a lot of outside mids doing that, or outside forwards trying to do that. Sometimes if they don't like the situation, they'll just drop back, pass it through the center mid, which is good in some circumstances. But I just love her confidence to be able to turn, face the defender, and take him one on one almost every single time.
Hmm.
And for the most part, she's she's successful at it.
Yeah, and hopefully the ankle isn't too serious, and she can be back against the Houston Dash, even if it is off the bench. She can be dangerous starting, but also being put in a situation if we happen to be down, coming in um, healthy and full of fuel, um, dangerous either way. So Kansas City roster though this year, I'm extremely happy with it. I'm extremely happy on how we've been playing. I said last year we weren't really a second half team, but these first four games, it seems like we're all for the ball, both halves. So I'm very excited to see the future. Um, Hopefully holding a trophy, but only time will tell. Um, but our games against it seems like our games against the Pride are going to be must wins if we want a good spot for the playoffs, just like they were last year, which I think it did come down to that game, a game, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, if we
yeah.
would have won that game, came down to the game against the Pride, I guess per se. Um, Hopefully we will be at the Chicago game this year. I know that's the plan. Um,
That's the plan. We'll see how everything works out.
yeah. So I mean, coming in, I know we just talked about this before. We both read up on it before the podcast, but 19 hours ago, Kansas City Current posted. I'll just read it. Kansas City Current 2 to take part in the WPSL exhibition play in May of 2025. And it looks like the Kansas City Current 2 will play, like I just said, scheduled in the Women's Premier Soccer League starting in May. Current's 2 2025 rosters comprised of high quality collegiate and high school talent from across the country and will compete in matches in May and June of 2025. Um,
I got to read up on that, get some more information.
yeah,
So it's
this,
just those 2 months.
I guess, yeah.
Hmm,
They will play three friendly matches away from the Kansas City area starting Sunday, May 18th at 5 p.m. Central against Minnesota. Um, then they face Peoria City Saturday, May the 31st. And then it looks like they play. It doesn't say here. It cuts off. Maybe that's just my phone.
So it kind of sounds like just giving younger players a chance to
Like
get
let's
some experience at
yeah,
a
like a spotlight.
better. Okay,
Ooh, this
I like
one.
that. We'll see what it's
Ooh,
all about.
May 31st. This one's in Peoria, Illinois.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe we'll be able to hit that. We're close. We're pretty close.
I wonder where. Okay, so it's comprised of college and high school.
Yeah, that's what it says. High school, collegiate, and high school players.
Okay,
Yeah, so
interesting.
maybe we can. That time is or oh, that's broadcast. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. Maybe ticket prices won't be terrible. We'll be able to actually. That'll be cool. That'll be really cool to see actually. But I mean,
Yeah,
with the younger talent we already have in the NWSL, I mean, it seems like a good idea for the NWSL to put on spotlights, to get younger players to be able to shine. Um, there's always a hidden gem in everywhere. You never know until, they pop out. So that'll be really cool to see. I'm interested to see how they add on to that.
yeah. And if we go catch a game, we could report on it in here, let
Live.
everyone know what it's all about. Or maybe there's some people that already know what it is, but
I've never seen
before we
that.
started this episode, yeah, you brought it up and I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, I want to bring this up too. I know I think like the day after we posted that last podcast, um, AT&T signed a multi-year deal with the NWSL. Hang on, I'm trying to find it. Like I said, that was 2 weeks ago now. I don't know if it's gonna come up, but I did see this news too. I don't know if you know about this. Um, Gotham FC ban a fan for abuse of Orlando's Banda.
Oh,
I
against
don't.
Banda.
Yeah,
I remember hearing about that, but I didn't follow up with it and see what the investigation led to. So it led to a fan getting banned, huh?
yeah. I think they were season ticket members if I read correctly. Um, I don't even know. I didn't read up on it. I don't even know what was said, or I don't know.
I was talking to my wife about this because she brought it up, and I don't know what it is about soccer, but especially in Europe,
Yeah,
since I watch a lot of European soccer, there always seems to be a bunch of racism, and I don't know why. Maybe because all of the teams are just comprised of people from around the world and, other ethnicities, so be it. And certain people from, whatever country they're at aren't used to having, people from around the world. I don't know, but it always seems to be a problem. And they try to take steps to make it better, like banning fans, or I don't know, doing a bunch of advertising for no racism. I don't know what it is about it, but it never seems to get better. And having it start in the NWSL is just horrible. I don't know why anyone would ever say those things. It's crazy.
yeah, a little scary, but I mean, good on them. I think they're banned for life, if I remember correctly. If I
Well, good.
read that earlier, but they were season ticket members, so I think they took their tickets away, banned them for life. So must have been pretty bad. Which, like you said, there's no reason. Everyone wants to go home.
Mhm.
Everyone's human. Everyone has feelings. And at the end of the day, these women are out here to give us entertainment. Um, even
Right.
if they
Yeah.
aren't even if they aren't on your team. Um, without them, your team wouldn't have anyone to play. So they're all here for entertainment.
Yeah.
I
I
did.
mean, this is the world sport, so everybody around the world plays this. So you can't just think it's only meant for Americans and have no other nationalities play in the NWSL. It's just not called for.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, everyone plays soccer, so there's not going to be ever one player or one person on a certain team. So I did bring it
Hmm.
up here. Yep, NWSL AT&T announced multi-year sponsor. Announced a groundbreaking multi-year sponsor that will make AT&T the league's official connectivity partner. It looks like they're going to empowering women's sports, uplifting communities, and enhancing fan connectivity through innovative technology and engagement platforms. So that'll be interesting. And
Well,
then,
that's good.
and I did read when I did open it. Looks like the key elements of the sponsorship include AT&T will be presenting sponsor of the league's first ever NWSL award show, as well as the NWSL MVP award. They will have AT&T will sponsor the Player of the Week award, highlighting the top weekly performances across the league. They will activate at the league's events, including the championship, by providing activities and engagement zones. So that'll be cool. Yeah, looks like and also last bullet here, AT&T will also receive stadium branding, including LED field boards and permanent goal line signage.
Okay,
Doesn't say
that's
anything
good.
about how much, but if we're promoting the
Probably
game,
quite a bit.
if we're promoting the game, I'm all for it. I'm wondering if they will change. I wonder if they will change that where we're able to. Well, I guess the NWSL has a also has a sponsorship with Ion, so I don't think they'll be leaving Ion. But I was thinking if they would move some of these games to a different platform since AT&T's taken over, because I believe AT&T owns DirecTV, right? I
I
think.
have no idea. I've
But
never owned cable. I don't know.
but Player of the Week presented by AT&T. The week 4 nominees are Alyssa Thompson, um, Anna Morehouse, um, Gonzalez, and I don't know how to pronounce this. Ludmila, Ludmila.
Who does she play for?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Oh, I didn't say. Well, it'll probably be Alyssa Thompson, if I were to guess. She's just performing
Oh,
everywhere.
okay. And they actually did go back. They did go back and do the last 3 weeks as well. Week 1 was Banda. Week 2 was Corley, and week 3 was Ashley Hatch.
Okay.
Michelle Cooper was on week 3 nominee, so well deserved. Um, yeah, that'll be really cool to see what AT&T does, especially if they're like I said, if they're promoting a sport, we're all for it. Um, I want to see this league succeed. I want this league to be, and I think I've already said on the podcast, I think this league has potential to be bigger than the men's soccer in the U.S. Obviously, I don't think NWSL will ever get as big as some of the men's leagues, obviously, but um, I think they could overtake the MLS in the U.S. I enjoy watching women's soccer. I think the MLS. I don't. You've said you haven't watched it as much. To me, it's not as entertaining as watching women's soccer. So I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah, I think one of the big things, maybe it's just just my opinion here, but I think one of the big things about MLS is instead of the quality of soccer, they just try to get the biggest names in.
Yeah,
So they just want the biggest names from Europe that are retiring from, whatever big team, Real Madrid, Barcelona, blah blah blah. They just want really big names, and sure they're still good. Messi, all the other Barcelona players that they're bringing in, or ex Barcelona players, they're still good, but that's just one team. They just want to get those big names, get people to buy tickets. Not really about the quality of soccer. Sometimes it is, but I don't really think it's all about soccer. It's just about the big names, getting people to buy tickets and get them in the stadium. But for the NWSL, they always have the females. They always have something to prove. They're always wanting to get better. They want the sport to grow, get better. So they're always just performing at the highest that they can. And I think that's one of the big differences from the two leagues.
yeah, yeah. And I think and we've already touched on this last podcast as well. But living like if you live in Kansas City, if you're in the Kansas City area, even a state away, I think going to CBKC to watch the game is 100% worth it. But if you live, find whatever soccer clubs near or in your state. I think it's a blast. We do see some of these stadiums a little empty. But if I did live around, I would definitely go. As
Hmm.
CPKC is obviously full every game because it's new, exciting, and I like what Kansas City has done around the sport of women's soccer. Um, and we can give some credit to Patrick Mahomes and his wife, but um, I think Kansas City itself has done massive stuff just for women's sports in general. Seeing all these stadiums, some of these other stadiums coming up, and even other leagues, opening stadiums for their women's sports as well. So excited to see.
It's a big first step. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Always.
KC built their stadium, and Denver's building theirs to be done in a few years. This is just a big step for just soccer. Imagine all the other sports as well.
Yeah. Like I said, and Kansas City does share on Instagram and Twitter when another women's organization comes together. So we've already seen it in other sports. So excited to see it. As long as we keep these games, easy to watch, easy to find, I don't see why we wouldn't succeed. As
And better refs. Don't forget that.
and better refs. Maybe not waiting as I know that wasn't his call, but waiting so long to go, to go watch the handball. I was screaming at my TV during that. Just go review it. Just go review it. If it's taking that long, just go review
Yeah.
it. That's just my opinion. Just there's no point. Just wait.
And just the consistency of the refing just needs to get a little bit better. But that's just me, a fan, being nitpicky at certain
Yeah,
things. But
they can't always be perfect, but um, I guess I'll give them props. The games that I have watched, if they're calling soft calls, soft penalties, soft cards. It's been both sides. So um, I don't like I, I like tough fought games. And some of the refs do make them interesting to watch. I don't like the softer games. I like to be able to see these women play. And shit's gonna happen. Excuse my language, but um, you know, I like to see hard fought games, and some of these games are soft. San Diego, their first yellow card was pretty soft, personally, even as a Kansas City fan. So, and I know the fans didn't like it at all. They were booing every
yeah, that
single
was
game.
yeah. I could kind of see that one being a yellow against Labonta, just because she is getting the ball with a lot of open space, and it breaks the play up a little bit, but I don't know. It was pretty soft.
It was close. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but um, yeah, I think, and again, I don't think that decision was his fault, but just waiting that long just to just watch it. 10-second clip, just run and go watch it. And like you said
Yeah.
before the podcast, it took him 2 seconds. I think he watched it maybe once from that front angle. Um,
Yeah, and I don't know why the VAR, whoever was looking at the VAR, why it took them so long to tell him, hey, I think you should just take a look at this real quick. And
now does he have to go watch it, or can they tell him that? Well, I guess he would have to go watch it then, right? They can't
yeah,
tell
he'd
him
have
that it was
he
a handball. He would have to make the decision.
yeah, he has to go watch it. It's really up to him, his final
That's
decision.
weird. Yeah, that's the
But
opposite than in the NFL, because I know in the NFL, if they review it and they have the answer, I think it's there in New York, I believe. If they have the answer, they'll tell the ref. The ref just tells just goes by what they
I
say. So
I think in some circumstances, if it's really blatant, I think, I don't really know exactly what the VAR team could call and what they
yeah,
can't. But if it's blatantly like offsides or I don't know, a card worthy foul, then I think maybe, VAR team could call that. But I don't know. Just getting another look at the handball, I think the ref would have to go over there and actually overturn it to be a penalty kick. A little bit more bigger deal decision.
yeah, that's a big part of Kansas City's win. Being up 2-0 against Kansas City, like I said again last podcast, never good. But three straight shutouts, really great start for the current roster. We seem healthy. Besides Cooper right now, hopefully she's fine. It didn't seem too bad. She was able to walk, so hopefully having that week's rest will have her better by the next game, or at least coming off the bench. Um,
Yeah, and DiBernardo was questionable this match too, and we didn't see her.
mm,
So
yeah, even
see what
just
that
coming off the
holds.
bench, and maybe if Cooper doesn't start, see Bia start, maybe
Maybe, yeah, maybe,
if
yeah.
Labonta isn't healthy, I guess, and they'll probably have Prince start. I like her starting.
Well, if Bia starts, Prince won't. They play the
No,
same
oh,
position.
okay,
I
sorry.
don't see them really putting Prince out wide. I think she plays the number 9 for Canada as well.
Okay,
I think she plays a good 9, but not better than Bia. I just
gotcha.
want to see Bia get back in there and, play 75, 70 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Really just get her back on the ball. Start, it's different starting and getting your touches on the ball and building with the team throughout the game. That is different than coming in, second half, trying to build your pace up to the level of the game. It's different, and I'd like to see her start.
Yeah. Well, anything else you have to say? I'm kind of running out of ideas. We talked about NWSL news, Kansas City current news. Wasn't much going on. Easy win.
Yeah,
Felt like.
yeah, it seemed pretty, fairly easy.
Mm,
But like I said, the San Diego team, they're looking pretty good. I think maybe just as good as last year, so maybe a little bit better. But I think
yes.
we touched on a lot. We had the NWSL match, and then the 2 USA games that, and unfortunately couldn't win that second game against Brazil. But they were Emma Hayes was starting her young players, getting them some experience. So they started really good first half. Second half, she made some adjustments, and it did not go their way. Really late goal from Brazil, make it 2-1. So just a big learning experience for that young squad.
Yeah, and I think having your bench, if you're not going to start them, having some starting experience is always good, especially in key moments when you need them. So um,
Yep.
overall, the games were good. I watched the highlights. Didn't get to see them. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch some. Bear with us. Our schedules are kind of messed up right now. Like I touched on, he's up in Minnesota. I'm just started a new job as soon as after we uploaded that last podcast. So, still getting adapted to that. Gotta
Yeah,
wake
it's
up
been a
at,
little hectic
gotta wake
trying
up
to
at.
get our schedules.
Yeah, well, we wanted to record this because I didn't know if I'd be able to do it this week because I gotta wake up at 3:30 tomorrow. So that'll be fun. But I guess that's all I have. That's all you have. Kansas
Yeah,
City
that was
played
good.
great. Excited to see him versus Houston this Saturday. Um, at
I
6:30.
know Orlando has a tough match this weekend against Spirit, so see how that goes. Maybe we'll
Praying
end
for
up
a
at the top of the
loss.
table.
Yes, praying for a
A loss
loss.
or a draw and a win for us.
Or
Put us at the
even,
top.
I mean, even if we win, what are we 1 goal down now? I think.
I think they won 1-0. We won 2-0. I think it was.
Let me.
I don't know. I can't remember the goal
Yeah,
differential. Maybe 11, 12, 10, 11.
let me look real quick. Standings.
But if they lose or draw and
Yeah,
we
they're
win, we'll
down
be on
by.
top of the
Yeah,
table.
so we can both win if we score one more than them. Well, we'd be tied. So how would that go down if we had the same, goals for?
There's a bunch of tiebreakers. I
Okay.
mean, there's still a lot of season, but it. I don't know. If we have the same amount of points and the same amount of goal, like the same goal differential, then it'll go to, because that means we'd have the same amount of goals scored and goals conceded. Then it would go to like who had less yellow cards, or I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
remember like
Nah.
tiebreakers after that. It rarely happens.
No problem. Yeah. So Orlando Pride 1, Kansas City Current 2, Spirit 3rd, Angel City 4th, Gotham FC 5th, Portland Thorns 6th, Seattle 7, and then Bay FC 8. So the 8, the playoffs were to be now.
So what was the goal differential? One?
Just one.
What was it? 11-10?
11-10, yep. And we're up 4 goals
11-10.
on the Spirit, which are right below us. So,
Okay.
um,
Well, I'm hoping for a dub this weekend and an Orlando loss.
loss
Well,
or
who's right behind Orlando since you had it pulled up? Was it Spirit?
well, we're behind Orlando, but after us is the Spirit. Yeah.
But after us is the Spirit.
So
Okay.
if the
Hmm.
Spirit were to
How about a
win,
draw?
if the Spirit were to win, they would have the same record as the Pride, but the Pride would have, well, right now, 4 more goals than they have. So that'll be an interesting matchup. I might actually have to see that. Let's see. That is Saturday, April 19th at 4 p.m. So that's right before our game. So that'll be a really good one to watch. Um,
Hmm.
Spirit are on a hot streak. Orlando's obviously on a hot streak. So uh, let's just pray.
Yeah, good matchups this weekend.
Everyone get their prayers in before this Saturday.
Yeah.
Praying for a win. Or a loss. Sorry. Praying for a loss. Kansas City Current win.
Or what's better is if they both draw,
Oh, yeah.
because
I
since
guess
Spirit is right behind us, it'd be better if they
both
tie
draw.
game and we
Yep.
win.
Yep.
That sounds good.
We're in a good position here. I like
Manifest
being.
it.
Yeah, I like. I like being here. So good position. Um,
Hmm.
I think. I mean, like I said, I guess we added on after that, but that's all I have.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you do the honors here of doing the KC
Oh,
baby
two.
since I'm in here in
Oh
Minnesota in a
yeah, I
hotel.
forgot.
I don't want to be too loud.
Okay.
I'm representing CPKC, so
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, free tickets,
yeah.
huh?
Since I work for CPKC, so
Free tickets
yeah,
incoming, huh? Free season ticket coming.
yeah. I don't know if CPKC employees get
it'd be even.
game tickets.
It'd be even cooler
But
if you.
for anyone who doesn't know, CPKC is a railroad company. Um, Up in Canada, all the way, Kansas City. I'm in Illinois, um, all the way through United States down to Mexico.
Yeah, it'd be cool even if you were to get like some CPKC teal merch if they did that. Something like that. That'd be
That'd be
really
cool.
cool. But
Maybe I should reach out to the CEO and see if they do anything
I know
with the CPKC
the problem with
stadium.
stadium sponsors is they change so much, so it's kind of like holding. I don't know how long CPKC has to deal with that certain stadium, but
Well, it's named CPKC Stadium with a big CPKC sign on the
well,
top, so
yeah, but
hopefully.
still that name could change, and then it could be because I know I can't think of one right now. I know there was a. It went from whatever Daikin Stadium is. Daikin is an HVAC brand. It stuck out. That definitely wasn't a thing. So that's just coming from the top of my head. We'll end it there. I'm having brain fog and I gotta eat and go to bed. So,
All right, you call the KC baby,
all right.
and good luck, Casey, this weekend. Big dubs.
Yes, when I'm manifesting a 15-minute goal for Chewinga.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Are you ready?
I think so. Are you gonna whisper?
Sure, I'll whisper it.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. KC, baby.